揺れが大きい、揺れが大きい、気をつけてねみんな。
The scariest part of a disaster is not when it happens, it's when it almost does. 170,000 people left their homes within minutes. No massive wave, no cities destroyed. But if you look closer, you'll realize something even more terrifying. This time, it was luck. This is natural destruction. We don't just look at what happened, we look at what could have happened and what might happen next. Because nature doesn't need to destroy everything to prove that it can. April 20th, 2026. A quiet afternoon in northeastern Japan. No warning signs, no preparation. Then suddenly, the ground moved. No warning, no buildup, just force. A magnitude 7.5 earthquake struck offshore near Sanriku. The hypocenter was only about 20 kilometers deep. And that detail matters because the shallower the earthquake, the higher the tsunami risk. This wasn't just a number. This was a subduction zone earthquake where one tectonic plate is forced beneath another. And that exact mechanism has created some of the most devastating tsunamis in history. Even in Tokyo, over 500 kilometers away, people felt the tremors. Think about that. A force powerful enough to travel hundreds of kilometers in seconds. Within seconds, the alert was issued. Tsunami, waves up to 3 meters possible. Evacuate immediately. This is not a precise prediction. This is a worst-case scenario. And Japan always chooses to overwarn rather than be too late. Over 170,000 people across more than 180 coastal cities began evacuating. No chaos, no panic. This is something many people outside Japan don't fully understand. That silence is not calm, it's memory. In 2011, in this exact region, a massive tsunami erased entire towns. Nearly 20,000 people died, and that memory is still alive. Bullet trains stopped, highways closed, ships moved to deeper waters, factories shut down. This isn't fast reaction. This is a system designed to respond without hesitation. Not the earthquake, but what comes after. Tsunamis don't arrive instantly. They travel across the ocean sometimes at speeds of hundreds of kilometers per hour, but on the surface, you often see nothing. That's what makes it terrifying. You can't see it, you just wait. For nearly 2 hours, an entire nation waited. No one knew what would happen next. No one could be sure whether the next wave would be small or powerful enough to erase everything. And in that moment, people realize how small they really are. If you're still watching it, means you're not just here to watch, you're trying to understand what is really happening on this planet. Follow natural destruction so you don't miss the moments when nature reveals its true power, because sometimes just one moment can change everything. Finally, the ocean responded, about 80 centimeters at its highest, around 40 centimeters in other areas. This is where everything shifts, not because the wave was small, but because it was far smaller than expected. This is the most important question. 3 key factors: limited vertical movement of the seafloor. Energy dissipated in deep ocean waters, the rupture did not fully propagate. If even one of these factors had been different, the outcome could have been completely different. People returned home. Life resumed. But this is where the real danger begins. When nothing happens, people forget that it almost did. If you find this analysis valuable, don't just watch and move on. Follow the channel, not to support us, but to make sure you're not the last to understand when it actually happens, because what comes next might matter even more. After the earthquake, the probability of a larger event increased from 0.1% to 1%. This doesn't mean it will happen, but it means the system is no longer stable. If energy continues to build, a larger fault is triggered, or a chain reaction begins, then everything changes. Humans can prepare, warn, respond, but we cannot control nature. 170,000 people left their homes that day. They returned. But that doesn't mean they were safe. It only means this time the earth chose not to destroy. This is natural destruction, where we don't just show disasters, we explain how close they really were.